And we'll be saying a big hello to all intelligent life forms out there, and to everyone else out there, the secret is to bang the rocks together. So, Shaun, thanks for agreeing to take part in this interview. How long were you involved in the Learning Technologies Special Interest Group, and what were your roles in that time?
Well, I've been involved with LTSIG as long as I have, almost as long as I've been in IATEFL. That's not true. I have to confess that LTSIG was not my first choice of SIG when I joined IATEFL. My original SIG was teacher training and education, because that's what I did primarily. And kind of tech was my not my hobby. Well, I think tech's always my hobby, but tech was always secondary to being a teacher trainer. However, I think because at the time, way back when, one of my bosses, Michael Carrier, was very much involved in the Learning Tech SIG. He kind of persuaded me to come over, and then so I joined it. I think the second year in, when I renewed my membership. So we're going back about 10, 12, 13, 14 years or so, and then I joined the committee not long after that. Actually, I watched with Graham Stanley at the time. Graham Stanley and Gary Mottram were the coordinators of the SIG, and there was, it is at IATEFL, there's always the open forum, and it was like a call for volunteers. I'm always somebody that likes to do more than I've got time for. So I was interested. I thought this would be an interesting way of kind of developing myself, actually. Joined the committee. I think I joined the committee as treasurer, actually. But the reason I say I think is because I didn't last long as treasurer.
That doesn't sound like your sort of ideal role, treasurer.
Well, it was the role that was there, and I mean, as you know now that you're a committee member yourself, I mean, there's two levels to be to working on a SIG committee or in any of the committees in my time. Like, you've got your specific role. But as the committee, you work as a committee. As a committee, you're bettering the SIG, and you're giving your ideas. Your role is just almost secondary in some ways, I think, to being part of the people that are running a SIG, which is what we're doing. So I think the treasurer was the vacancy that was open. I was interested in joining it. I thought I had the skills to that. I joined. The reason it didn't last long is because where what I do a lot of is events, and the event coordinator came up, and I kind of shifted role across to do events for a while, and then I think the SIG went through. LTSIG's an interesting SIG in the sense that I think it went through an existential crisis a few years ago, because when it started 30 odd years ago as usually even before it became the IATEFL SIG. I mean, it started because tech was an esoteric part of language teaching, and people were dabbling in COL activities and looking at how early word processing and stuff could become part of language learning. But obviously, by the time you fast forward to the mid 2000s, technology is becoming quite the norm in teaching, in a sense. So I think the SIG itself went through this kind of soul searching as to what it was. We had some really good coordinators. Like Gary was replaced by Paul Sweeney, and then Nikki Hockley came on, and it was kind of like we've always had this move to people within the SIG then moved to become coordinator, and the opportunity came up. So I became coordinator, and then did that for 4 years, I think, before now finally then stepping down because I became a trustee, stayed on the committee, and now I'm finally trying to escape the committee, but I can't. So now from IATEFL I've stepped down, but of course being from IATEFL in Brighton conference, I've officially stepped down, but actually extricating oneself from all the communications that we have and all the things that go on as a committee is harder than I thought.
Yeah, it's like leaving a digital footprint. It's very difficult to wipe those footprints clean and get on with the rest of life.
No, and because we use this, again, as you know, we use this platform for this and that platform for that, and it's kind of slowly and steadily. So so officially I've gone out, but I still see the messages.
I was going to suggest that you kind of shoehorn something in, like the first 10 million years were the worst, the second 10 million years, they were the worst too, and the third 10 million years I didn't enjoy at all. After that, I went into a bit of a decline. Would you like to say that?
I don't think it's quite that long, and I don't think I was that I don't think I've ever got that depressed or paranoid about being
I think you ought to know I think you ought to know I'm feeling very depressed.
Are you? Go talk to the doors; they'll cheer you up. But it's interesting. I know where you're going, and everybody's watching the interviews going, "What?" But it is interesting. I am leaving the Learning Technology SIG as a committee member at the point when perhaps. It's interesting that almost Douglas Adams is becoming a reality, because you've got this point of artificial intelligence coming out, you've got robots coming out, and there's a lot of the Babel fish, which of course is a Douglas Adams thing, is essentially has been invented. It's not very good yet. Yeah. I mean, but it's interesting. I mean, you and I joke about it, but it bringing it back to educational technology, we are in the era of Douglas Adams technology becoming true, and who knows, maybe the planet Earth will be moved for a Vogon byway very soon. So.
I think he was very prophetic in talking about the Babel fish, especially as language educators, and that idea of just being able to plug yourself in, and like, you know, we've got it with smart technology now, being able to plug yourself in, you know, with augmented reality, just pointing your phone and basically having a simultaneous translation of
well, yeah. I mean, you've got that built into Google phones as a start. I mean, and Google. Although they don't work very well at all, the Google EarPods being able to translate with it, and Skype and Microsoft playing with instantaneous translation as well. So yeah, he was very prescient in that. And as I say, I think it's an interesting time therefore to be a language teacher. And I mean, we've just come back from an event together where we were looking at AI and augmented reality and virtual reality, and whether they will work in teaching. But I think, you know, obviously, if we go back to Musely again and this cutting edge side of what the SIG was originally set up for, I think, you know, there are some interesting developments that are coming up. And I think it's an interesting time to be a member of a learning tech SIG and being in educational technology from that point of view.
Okay, thank you, Shaun. So why are you stepping down now from the SIG?
Well, perhaps I'm old, perhaps I'm tired, but maybe it's just because I don't like you all anymore.
Oh.
No, I've had. It's a time thing. As I said, I do like, and I think the committee at the moment actually is running really well, and the SIG the SIG has lots of positive ideas, and it's been a real pleasure working with you and with everyone over the last, God knows how many years, 8 or so, did we say 9 years with it? But I don't have time for everything, and I'm now as of June last year, I was appointed a trustee of IATEFL, and that is incredibly time consuming. I thought being a SIG coordinator was time consuming, but being a trustee is incredibly time consuming. And I don't think so. I think there's two reasons. One, so I don't have time to do both, and two, it's really time for somebody else to step forward. And I really like one of the things. I mean, when I joined the SIG, it was hard to get people involved in the committee, and I think there was people coming. It took us years to get people coming through. One or two people would come through, but it wasn't there. And it's really exciting now that people like yourself, who have come forward through the subcommittee route and come onto the main committee. And and again, as you know, there are a number of people in those positions. And I think it's time for somebody like me to step aside and let somebody new come through, and hopefully get the same opportunities from being on a committee of the special interest group that I did, because I very much saw it as a professional development. In my career, you know, I was learning something new in education, learning new skills, learning different parts of it. And so I think from that point of view, I don't have time, but B, it's certainly time for somebody else to have a go and bring in some new ideas. And it seems silly just sitting on a committee because I could, to be honest. And I was it was unplanned when I moved away, because obviously the trustee position came up as on an electronic committee, and that's a good fit for me. But you know, I'm still involved with IATEFL, just in a different way. And I think the people on the committee now, and the people that hopefully will come through to the committee, can carry the SIG forward. I've done my time. I've paid my dues.
Yes. So the main thing from that seems to be the issue of time and time management. But you know that time is an illusion.
It is an illusion.
Lunchtime doubly so.
It is very much an illusion. I learned, well, working at home all the time, I always have 2 lunchtimes, so that doubly so. But timing is an illusion. But one of the things that as you get older, time seems to go a lot faster. So it might be an illusion, but if it was going to be an illusion, could it be a lot slower, then I could do everything I wanted to do. But no, I mean, it's a good time to move on, and I'm enjoying the new role for it. And it was kind of, I like the fact that, you know, the aforementioned VR event was kind of my last hurrah, and it was a good time to leave. It was a good event. I'm quite happy with the way it went. It was my idea.
Wasn't it your idea to have virtual reality as the topic of the PC?
It was, because it's something I've been playing with for. I mean, we obviously PCE titles and topics are done a year out. I don't think people ever realise that the planning for the 2019 PCE has already started. So we had this idea of doing a small esoteric kind of PCE, and then we turned into this really big, gathering in Brighton, or a really interesting talks and things. So it was a good way to finish, and now you and other people can pick up the mantle and go forward and do other stuff. Gosh, don't I sound grand and not my own?
Well, sometimes we have to promote what we do, and sometimes that means, you know, being very positive about what we do. But I'm wholly positive about my experience so far. I've been almost a year on the subcommittee, then got elected to be the newsletter editor, and who knows what after that. And I certainly think the subcommittee route is a fantastic way in.
It is, yeah. I mean, it is. The people that are watching this that are maybe not involved, have not got involved, are members of the SIG. Mm-hmm. I think, I think people that don't. There are so many opportunities that people could take from becoming a subcommittee member or a committee member, and actually just giving some time. And yes, it is a question of time, but it's, as I say, I mean, for me, I've always seen it as professional development, and and actually networking as well. You learn people in the profession, and you learn how to do skills that you probably don't get in your day-to-day job all the time.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want any current LTSIG members to think that this was an exclusive, a cliquey band of friends who run the committee together. No, we very much are open, I think, to welcoming new people to come onto the subcommittee and later become full committee members.
Well, actually, I think you're a good example of that, in the sense that, I mean, a couple of years ago, I knew who you were because you have a good social media presence, but I think it's because of IATEFL and because of the SIG that we've actually could know each other quite well now, I'd say, and are much more towards being friends. I only say that loosely because we don't see each other very often.
We're not friends.
Damn, all right. Delete you from my Facebook
we have a professional relationship.
Yeah, all right. But we know each other in that sense. That there's a much more go on. But my point being that it's a group of disparate people that become friendly and work together through the committee for it. But I'm going to delete everything over about you now for that purpose. If we're not friends, then that's it. Okay. That's it.
Fine for me. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the interview now. I just want to remind you of. I mean, obviously, when the dolphins left the Earth, they did a surprisingly sophisticated attempt to do a double backward somersault through a hoop while singing the Star Spangled Banner. Did you know that?
Don't know if you want me to do the double backflip.
No, I'm not asking you to do the double backflip, but I'd just like you to sign off in the way that they signed off.
Which is so long a thanks for all the fish, I would imagine.
Indeed, it is. So, Shaun.
That's it. We're definitely done. No more. That's it.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Phil. Thanks for your time. I never panic.
You never panic?
No.
Oh, you never...
Have you ever seen me panic?
You go around like a headless chicken sometimes.
No, I go around madly, yeah, but I don't panic.
I panic a lot, so I have to tell myself don't panic a lot, and this is, something...
I used to. I didn't used to, but I really don't anymore. I kind of...